AITA for asking my fiancé to bring me a glass of prosecco? I am not the original poster. That is you, Discustoris. She posted in r, am I the asshole? Mood spoiler. Communication sort of prevails? Oop at least thinks so. Less than. Original post. November 3rd, 2023. Preserved with rawreddit. I, 20SF, and my fiancé, 30SM, were enjoying a Friday night wind down. Had dinner, yogurt, and were sitting down for TV. We're on season 7 of 24. My first time watching. I decide to paint my nails pink as we're going out tomorrow and seeing my family. They haven't seen us since we got engaged last month. I'm in a good mood and feeling happy. After painting one hand, I ask him if he fancies opening a bottle of prosecco tonight. Well-stocked post-engagement. He says yes. I ask him if he could bring me a glass too, please. That's where the argument began. No shouting, stomping, etc. Just speaking our minds and then silence before resuming. Generally, we get along great and have very healthy communication. Hell, we managed to compromise on a child-free wedding easier than this. He wanted children there. I didn't. We've settled on child-free ceremony and kids for the dinner and reception. Back to the argument. His perspective. It's weird of me to ask him to bring me things. Be it a beverage or a blanket. That I'm a grown woman and should do these sorts of things for myself. Doing it for me would be simping, and asking him to is toxic. My perspective. It's a glass of prosecco and my nails were drying. My love language is acts of service and I make him at least 3 cups of tea a week. A simple refusal is fine. His attitude about me asking was, in my opinion, toxic. Earlier on in our relationship I did ask him to get me glasses of water semi-regularly. We had a discussion and he expressed his frustration. I now don't really ask. Maybe once a week at most. The last time was in a cafe. For unnecessary context, if you're interested, I wonder if it's how we grew up. He's an only child and claims his mom never asked him to do anything like this for her. He's fiercely independent and can sometimes exist in his own little world. Whereas, I have an older sister and we just did as we were told really. Definitely learned to play host at family gatherings. Offering food and drink and just being pleasant. If someone asked for something, like a drink, and you said no, that'd be considered rude. But I digress. I asked for prosecco, even though my 5 feet 0 legs do in fact work. AITA? Relevant comments. It could mean acts of service, mean nothing to him. Did his mom ever do things for him? His mom did a lot for him growing up. As a single-parent, single-child household. That's one of the reasons he's so insistent on feeling independent and not relying on people. You've hit the nail on the head. I don't think he sees the value in these sorts of gestures. Also, the acts of service is part of the 5 love languages. Not my creation there, haha. Does he ever ask you for things? Honestly, he rarely asks for these gestures. I always offer to help or grab things. And he occasionally says yes. But for me it has felt like a one-way system. So he doesn't mind if you get things for him? Never complains. Always says thanks. Oop is voted NTA. Update. November 4th, 2023. Next day. Same post but Oop deleted her OG post and wrote the update over it. Hello Reddit. Thank you for all for taking the time to comment and engage. While the consensus was that I was NTA, I did enjoy hearing all the perspectives on this situation. Here's some common misconceptions or curiosities to clear up. 1. I bet he listens to Andrew Tate. This was clearly interpreted from his vocabulary. It's shocking language and has a lot of misogyny attached. When he said, simping, my mouth opened like a fish impression. However, He doesn't listen to Tate and only knows the term from Reddit context. And no, he's not a 4chan veteran or similar. Point 2. Trying to hide a big age difference, I was purposefully vague. I'm 26 and fiancé's 35. We met in person through a shared hobby and began dating 2 years ago. At 24 and 33, we've lived together over a year. After our first date, we had a discussion about power imbalances, equitable split proportionate to income, and consent. I'm gonna shock a few people, but he's genuinely a feminist. 3. What happens if you got sick? We joke that I've been ill most of our relationship, thanks to my poor immune system to colds. Also, my wisdom teeth only started emerging at 25. When they began coming through, it was excruciating. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. And he ran out to the shops before work to get me numbing liquid and has been an ongoing support when I've had flare-ups. I also took care of him post-wisdom teeth removal, so it flows both ways. Point 4. Don't make him a tea and how he'd react. I know how he'd react. He wouldn't notice or care. In fact, I've recently discovered that he enjoys making himself teas as a break from his activity to stand up and move around. So maybe I'll stop, not to teach him a lesson, but to give him gestures that he'll value instead. So, flashback to last night, some wanted more detail on the actual exchange. I did ask him in a very round-the-houses way. I guess because after our Watergate, he's been very reluctant to say yes to any requests I make, no matter how infrequent or simple. During our argument, I asked if how I asked would have changed his response, to which he said no. When I realized we were getting nowhere, I went to the bathroom and removed my nail varnish. When I said, "Your view on fetching things for your partner is abnormal," he said, "Ask Reddit." So that's what I did. I sat down on the sofa and typed out my response. At first, I was relieved to know my opinion was validated. When I saw the first "dump him" message, I suddenly lost all my anger and felt very amused by the caricatures we'd clearly become. I called out to him and said, "If I open the prosecco, will you pour the glasses?" And he agreed. We drank the whole bottle together. Reading all the comments, he apologized for his language and I apologized for mine. It was a very eye-opening exercise. I had overused whatever partner privilege involved fetching things last year, but after our discussion, I had actually actioned his feedback completely. He, however, hasn't appreciated that I'd changed and remained on high alert for any princess behavior, resulting in being a meanie. Where are we now? Well, to the disappointment of many, we're still in love and planning to get married. We've enjoyed a lovely time with my family today. I think this highlighted the need for a happy medium, and that's what he'll be showing me. Communication wins. One time I made a joke and told the dog to go grab my cell phone from the other room. My partner thought I was talking to him and brought it to me even though I never would have used that tone to speak with him. I even got a forehead kiss. Guess I'm a princess. Very early on in our relationship, my ex-boyfriend got out of bed to get a glass of water. I asked him to grab me one too. So obviously, that led to at least 30 minutes of him screaming at me for thinking he should ever bring me anything, as one does. We broke up because the Crown prosecutor hit him with a restraining order after he tried to kill me. 3 years later. I'm sorry, no. If I ask you to grab me something and you tell me no, that's fine. But if you tell me no because that's simp behavior, you better simp on out the door and find a better personality. That's a lot of paragraphs to justify your boyfriend refusing to pour you a drink and acting like his reasons don't make him an asshole. Oh my lord. She just rationalized his behavior away. Communication didn't win here. Just refusing to help out your partner at all is actually really weird to me. Id gaff about the love language, it's just general courtesy? Yikes. This is not the happy update Oop thinks it is. I cannot imagine being in a relationship with someone who thinks it's toxic and simping to do something as simple and mundane as getting their partner a drink when they're in the middle of something. I highly doubt this will be the end of that behavior. Tonight my husband asked me, unprompted, if I wanted anything because the dog was asleep on my lap. I'm sorry, but this isn't really a happy ending. This whole relationship is just really weird. I won't be surprised if this marriage ends up turning bad. I settled on the couch with my laptop, got my little desk thing set up, blanket over my toes, ready to play Baldur's Gate. Then I realized I forgot to get my headphones. My fiancé got up without me asking and got them for me. Because that's just what you do when you can. Goodness gracious. This is not a happy ending. Op is going to regret this marriage. Oop is letting it slide for a quieter life. Communication wins! Exclamation mark. Oh honey. Oof, I hate to break it to this girl, but real feminists don't use simp in this context. If simping is what makes my partner happy, I guess I'll simp then. Oop is in for a rude awakening post-marriage. So if you have children and you ask him to grab a diaper for you, will that be princess behavior? Please get premarital counseling. She just accepted that her soon-to-be husband isn't going to do her any favors because he isn't a simp. Wow, I bet that's going to work out so well. Two people in a marriage who won't do anything for each other because he's not a simp. So I don't do stuff for him either because he won't care. Good luck. Very weird relationship dynamic. If they're happy with this, good for them. I could not be in a relationship where asking my partner to get drinks resulted in him thinking that was simping and toxic. That he sees a very tiny caring gesture through that lens still bothers me. IDK. Maybe she is really super needy and last year she was dramatically over the top. But there had literally never been an issue in my family with, hey, you're up? Can you grab me a water, Coke, split a small snack PLS? Single quote. I don't understand being supposedly amazing when your partner is sick, but absolutely refusing small things when they're healthy. Also, calling it princess behavior. Ick. If it works for them, great like I said, but it would feel so impersonal to me. Sorry, but I am not believing OOP here. One does not use simping as an excuse to not do something for the woman you are quite literally married to. I am willing to bet that he does genuinely watch those neo-incels like Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate. Even if he just watches the discount versions. I feel sad now. No man who says simp or thinks being asked for a small favor by his partner is toxic because his mommy never asked him for anything is a feminist. For crying out loud, Oop is in for a rough few years.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.